Good afternoon. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive, and we're here today on Tuesday, April 2nd, to recognize World Autism Day in Westchester County, of course, across our nation and across the world. I'm joined today by Westchester County Legislator Catherine Parker, Michael Orth, who is our Commissioner of the Department of Community Mental Health, and three guests who are very active in this area. Carla Sterling, who is the Senior Area Executive Director for New York of Autism Speaks. Gina Proya, who's Chair of Autism Speaks, New York's Executive Leadership Council, and Eddie Russo, Manager of Field Development for New York State. And all of our guests are going to share a little bit of their thoughts on this important day. This is a day that we mark World Autism Day, and it's part of April being Autism Acceptance Month, as all of us reaffirm our commitment here in Westchester County to fostering understanding, acceptance, and support for individuals who are on the autism spectrum. Let me first introduce our Commissioner of the Department of Mental Health, Michael Orth, who's been a leader in this county government well beyond my tenure in office in trying to help us respond in an appropriate and positive way to those who deal with autism. Commissioner.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. It's my honor in joining our County Executive, Legislator Parker, and representatives from the Autism Speaks in recognizing, as the County Executive said, World Autism Day and launching Autism Awareness Month. Along with mental health and substance use disorders, our department is responsibility for addressing the needs of individuals with autism and their families. This includes planning, needs assessment, coordination of services, and of course, training and awareness. Along with Deputy Commissioner Joe Glazer and Bill Weitz from our department today, I would also like to recognize the work being done by our staff, in particular Michelle Armisto and Matthew Faulkner from our Developmental Disability Autism team, who spend countless hours working with hundreds of individuals and families each year, working closely with our school districts, our providers, and our advocates to provide educational resources for our residents. I thank them both and the many organizations who are committed to this important work, including the Office of People with Disabilities. Also, I want to highlight today an important resource for our residents called Project Lifesaver, which is a collaboration between our Department of Community Mental Health, Public Safety, and Westchester Jewish Community Services. This program can serve up to 100 children and young adults who wander to keep them safe using an electronic transmitter. Individuals wear them on their wrists or ankles. Should someone become lost, the specialized, trained, and equipped county police officers can locate them by tracking the radio signals transmitted by the device. We want to make sure our residents are aware of this equipment, and they can contact WJCS Isabel Peterson at 914-761-0600, extension 2230, a wonderful resource available to all of our families. And I briefly want to share two upcoming autism awareness events here right in Westchester County. On April 13th, at the 11th Annual Autism Resource and Provider Fair will be held at the Ted Young Community Center in Greenburgh. And on April 27th, Hudson Valley Walk for Autism at the James Bard State Park, sponsored by Autism Directory Services, Inc. For additional information about any resources for Westchester or any of these events, please call the Department of Community Mental Health at 995-5220 for additional information. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael Orth, who is Commissioner of the Department of Community Mental Health for the county. A leader in this area of public policy is my colleague and friend Catherine Parker, Westchester County Legislator, who represents a section of the Sound Shore 7th Legislative District. She has prioritized this issue, and we're very happy to have her here today on behalf of her role and the Board of Legislators in recognizing this day, and also during the course of our budgetary process, leading the charge to provide resources for this area. Catherine.
Thank you, County Executive. I also want to recognize we're joined today by my colleague at the board, Legislator Nancy Barr, who chairs our Committee on Human Services and is also extremely committed and a partner in this effort. And thank you for being here. So Westchester County is home to over 1 million people. And if the numbers for autism are correct, that's 1 in every 36 people. That's a lot of Westchester County residents. And, we celebrate our diversity, even neurodiversity here in Westchester County. So on today being World Autism Awareness Day, the start of the month, We are so happy to celebrate those who are on the autism spectrum. And we also have a proclamation signed by every single one of Westchester County legislators to say that we are celebrating our diversity with those that meet the challenge of autism and those that thrive. And we reaffirm our commitment to supporting autistic individuals and their network of family and caregivers. My thanks also to my constituent Gina Proya and Carla Sperling and Mr. Russo from Autism Speaks for having us included in this. It's really an honor for us to be with you today and joining with Autism Speaks to recognize World Autism Awareness Day. So thank you very much, and you must get to the County Center and see your name and the organization and World Autism Day up in lights.
Good. You can hold on to that next as you have a chance to say a few words. We're going to have next Carla Sterling, who's Area Executive Director for New York Autism Speaks, address us. Carla, thank you for being here.
Thank you, County Executive. Good afternoon again. My name's Carla Sterling. I'm the Area Executive Director for Autism Speaks here in New York. I would like to thank the County Executive. I'd also like to thank Michael and Catherine for their support and for being with us here today and for allowing us to host in such a public forum. We really do appreciate your support. Just as background, Autism Speaks is a nonprofit that was established in 2005 when 3 organizations decided to pool their resources to be able to use their unique strengths to support the autism community in a much better way. We're dedicated to creating an inclusive world for all individuals with autism throughout their lifespan. And we do this through advocacy, service supports, research, and innovation, and advances in care for individuals and their families. Autism Speaks offers no-cost resources, services, and tools for autistic adults, families, and medical professionals. And our support and services include our Autism Response Team, which is a group of trained individuals who provide information, referrals, and access to life-changing resources. The team is available by phone, email, and chat in English and in Spanish. Our state and federal advocacy team works for the autism community at the state and federal level to enact and protect laws that support the autism community around research, funding, fair pay for service providers, housing, and a host of other areas. Our community grants have provided funds totaling more than $16 million to hundreds of local service providers in every state across the country to sustain programs and services for children and adults on the spectrum. Our Workplace Inclusion Initiative, which we're super excited about, is our workplace development program that helps employers commit to promoting diversity in hiring and creating an inclusive workplace culture where autistic adults can thrive and succeed. We are looking for corporate partners, so if there's interest, definitely do reach out and let us know. Our educational events target autistic adults, parents, and medical professionals to share valuable resources and best practices learned through our comprehensive research program. Our research focuses on finding personalized treatment for children and adults on the autism spectrum who need it. And lastly, our local events, including our Westchester, Hudson Valley, and Fairfield County Walk, which will take place on the grounds of New York Presbyterian on October 20th. The walk raises much needed funding for programs and support and services, and also brings together the community with a strong sense of connection, drives awareness and acceptance for the community. And just in closing, last year, largely due to more effective strategies for data collection and diagnosing autism, the CDC increased the autism prevalence from 1 in 44 children to 1 in 36. For scale, that number was increased from 1 in 150 from 20 years ago. With more children and families faced with an autism diagnosis, organizations like Autism Speaks must be ready to meet their needs. This month, in recognition of World Autism Month, Autism Speaks is issuing a challenge, a call to action for our community. Because we believe that together we will forge a brighter, more inclusive future for autistic individuals. We're calling on all of you to join us in our World Autism Month Act Fearlessly campaign to fearlessly stand against the misinformation and exclusion surrounding autism. Please visit autismspeaks.org/world-autism-month and click the pledge button to tell us why you will act fearlessly why you would act fearlessly for change. I have the privilege today of being here with Gina Proyer, who chairs Autism Speaks New York Executive Leadership Council. Leadership Councils work in markets nationwide to provide guidance, feedback, and to maximize local engagement and identify needs. Gina has done an extraordinary job working with me and the Council to grow Autism Speaks' footprint across New York State, to ensure families have access to our important resources, and to let the autism community know it has a trustworthy and reliable partner in Autism Speaks. Thank you, and now I'll turn it over to Gina.
Thank you, Carla. As Carla mentioned, I'm honored to chair the Executive Leadership Council for Autism Speaks in New York, and my commitment to this issue comes from being a parent to a child on the spectrum. My family has been on the autism journey for more than 10 years, and when we received the diagnosis, the first place that I searched was Autism Speaks. They're a leader in the space, and we needed to figure out a plan. As many walking this journey know, you don't get all the answers you need from a doctor alone, or a school, or a therapy provider. It takes a squad and a patchwork of things with a lot of tries and a lot of pivots, and that's a big lift for most families. And after a decade, I wish I could say that we know all there is to know and that the path forward was clear. It's simply not for the many millions of people walking this path. And it gets less clear into adulthood. Autism is a spectrum condition and can present quite differently from person to person. In our case, our son hit all his early developmental milestones at the doctor's office, but challenges presented during preschool. In other cases, people know much sooner. And in some cases, people may not be diagnosed until later in life. The point being that each person and the people that love them may walk a slightly different journey, and as neurotypical allies, we need to open our minds, hearts, and eyes to better understand and include. And there's a lot of opportunity to do better. For example, 2/3 of children on the spectrum are bullied. Only 1 in 5 people with disabilities, including autism, are employed. 1 in 4 autistic households experience food and housing insecurity. These numbers are unacceptable. During my professional career, I've had the opportunity to work on advancing inclusion efforts across the business community. And I have learned that progress requires knowledge, acceptance, and action. During this World Autism Day and World Autism Month more broadly, each of us has an opportunity to take action and expand our thinking around inclusion to reflect those with autism and other neurodiverse conditions. At 1 in 36, this condition affects people in every state, city, town, school, classroom, and neighborhood. It may not always be obvious. Sometimes we might have to look more closely. But each of us can play a role in ending the stigmatization and bullying, in driving greater inclusion in our schools and workplaces, and in acting fearlessly for change in our communities. Today's a great day to start. And simply take the pledge to act fearlessly for change at autismspeaks.org under the World Autism Month information. And I want to thank County Executive George Latimer, Commissioner Michael Orth, Westchester County Legislator Catherine Parker for acting fearlessly for change for Westchester County. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you. I want to thank Gina, Carla, and Eddie for their advocacy and the fact that you're passionate and knowledgeable and bring to those of us in government an understanding, a moral understanding of why this is important. Michael Orth has laid out the game plan that he has with his organization and agency, and when he comes to advocate to the Board of Legislators and to the executive leadership why this is important, it's advocacy like this that makes the difference. So we celebrate today being a World Autism Day in the month where we focus on autism, but really it's an everyday scenario, and we thank you for your leadership and advocacy. I want to again thank Legislator Catherine Parker for her legislative leadership, along with Legislator Nancy Barr. They and their colleagues are a critical part of how these things happen. And again, from an executive branch standpoint, Michael, thank you for your leadership. We appreciate it. Thank you for watching. We hope that this moment is one that will stay with you for a while, and you think of what we can do individually along the lines that Gina pointed out to make this day the beginning of something that shows a greater sensitivity and a greater appreciation for those amongst us who deal with autism on an everyday basis. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.